The New York Times has reported that the CIA is working with Libya and Turkey, and they are working to run weapons to the Syrian rebels. This is what we told you the other night, and this was our theory on September 17th, that Ambassador Stevens has been working with this guy, first to get the rebels, the al-Qaeda people, and those who are working with the Muslim Brotherhood in Benghazi to overthrow this guy. But then this guy started brokering deals through Turkey, who, by the way, the Prime Minister of Turkey is best friends with Barack Obama, on a ship that came from Benghazi. Over 400 tons of weapons came on this ship, chartered by this guy, to the Syrian rebels. And the Syrian rebels are Muslim Brotherhood and al-Qaeda. Gang, that's what's happening here. This is fast and furious times 1,000. We are running weapons to radical Islamic revolutionaries. And when you deal with people like that, eventually it backfires. I mentioned Sean Smith, the post that he gave on that gaming website. And I said, remember that he put air quotes around the word police. Why? Well, who were the police? The name of the group tasked with providing security is the February 17th Brigade. Who are they? Well, they are the biggest group of militia in Libya, and they just happen to have ties to the largely secular Muslim Brotherhood. Again, the New York Times reported last month that secular politicians in Libya are suspicious of Mr. Bukatev, the head of the February 17th Brigade, and his brigade because of their own Islamist reputation. He's been a member of Libya's branch of the Muslim Brotherhood. A statement they gave to the BBC read this: "Democracy is a human condition where laws are made by people. Only God has the authority to make law, and that's why Islam and Sharia are incompatible with democracy." By the way, their name comes from the uprising that began in Libya on February 17th, 2011. But it's also been questioned if their name is also tied to an attack on the Italian consulate on February 17th, 2006, after an Italian politician wore a T-shirt mocking Mohammed. Who are these guys again? Oh, that's right. These are the guys that our State Department is paying to protect our ambassador. No wonder Smith put quotes around police. That was a cry, please America, please, if I don't make it out here, please look at who the police are. They're revolutionaries. They're hardcore Islamists. Several reports describing the attacks made mention that the Libyan locals put up little defense. Well, I mean, of course, we're beginning to understand why. These guys are horrible, or they're the enemy. I mean, you know, are you going to fight these guys? Or are you with these guys? Do you remember when Leon Panetti went to Afghanistan and told our troops to put the guns down? He said, can't come in to meet with me unless you have no guns, because we don't want to have any of our Afghani people to have guns. I mean, this administration doesn't seem to mind us being gunned down, our guys being gunned down in the back by Afghani soldiers, you know, working with us. But the Secretary of Defense, no guns. So he had us disarm as well. How'd that work out for us? The troop deaths now in Afghanistan. We give the Afghans a gun, and they shoot our guys. And now we're hiring the Libyans, not just the Libyans. You can find, you know, locals, you should. It's probably a good idea. But Islamists who say that about democracy to protect our ambassador who's worried about his, really? Romney's strategy on Libya, where he didn't say anything to the president, is actually making more sense with me now. With each passing day of information, I mean, no matter what Romney said, it would become the story. And then it would be he said, she said. The semantics game. The facts are coming out that are more devastating to Obama than anything Mitt Romney could ever say. But here are the questions that we need to ask. Why were all of the really desperate cries for help, for security, why were they all ignored leading up to the attack? Who was the Turkish official meeting with Stevens? Why was he meeting at the CIA safe house on 9/11? Why was he allowed to walk out before an attack? Why did you let him in before an attack? Why weren't they meeting at the embassy in Tripoli? Was the president in the Situation Room watching the drone footage as it came into the Situation Room live. Did the president, was he given these? If not, why? Why wasn't he given this information? Why wasn't he in the Situation Room? Why didn't he see the live drone footage? Who was in the Situation Room? Who ordered the drone over Benghazi? Was Panetta there? Who told the president that it was a video? That's not in any of the State Department documents or emails that we've seen so far. Why did the president ignore all of the information about it being a terrorist attack? I mean, volumes. There were 12 reports on his desk, 12 reports on his desk the next morning before he walked out on the Rose Garden, and none of them said anything about the video. Yet he blamed that protest that didn't exist. Why did the president mislead the American people when he knew at 6 p.m. the night before it was clearly a terrorist attack? Who made the decision to deny sending troops in to help? Well, the president will say, well, we have to get down to the facts. But do you know who he appointed to investigate this Libya situation? Oh my gosh. We have appointed an Islamist sympathizer with ties to Iran and CARE. When we show you this guy, it will blow your mind. We couldn't find anyone else. Why was Stevens sent to Benghazi at a time when the city was on maximum alert? And one more piece that came into Andrew Wilkow's show last night from Ed Klein. We talked to Ed this morning on the radio. Watch this.
And Hillary claims, and I tend to believe her, that she ordered beefed up security in Benghazi because it had been requested, and that this order was never carried out, and that furthermore, when and if she is subpoenaed, along with her internal memoranda and the cable traffic from the State Department by the House Committee, it will prove that she did just that. Now, if it doesn't prove that she did just that, then they're lying to me. And the sources are, I'm not suggesting that that's impossible, but I seriously doubt it, since I'm talking to legal counsel to Hillary Clinton. Legal counsel. These people don't generally lie.
Ed, why would legal counsel be leaking stories? She's already met with legal counsel. If this is true, why would Hillary fall on her own sword? And I guess the last question really is, where is the press? Will they hold him accountable? Or will we keep getting the top 10 lines from Obama on the Stewart Show or the Politico story? I started the show today from here, from the Oval Office, because you have to know if your president is a crook. You have to know what our president is up to. I started the show with a video presentation of the campaign trail with the president 24 hours after he makes a claim on TV and says, check it, check it, check it, check it, check it. Look it up, he says. And MSNBC and everybody else, check it. They say it's false. And here he is again, knowing that it isn't true, but still using the debunked attack to call Romney, who is telling the truth, a liar. And Obama is clearly not telling the truth. And he's not telling the truth on these terrorist attacks. Yet he continues to look you in the eye and says, trust me, I'm your president. Trust me. And he does it in the same cold, calculated, shameless way Bill Clinton did it and Nixon did it. I'm sorry, America, but your president is a liar. And this time, it is different. It is not about politics. It's not about a personal relationship. This is about your children's security. No way around this one. Whether you think it's important about him lying on the campaign trail or when it ends in 4 Americans dead and a nightmare to follow, there is no way around it. The President of the United States is telling callous, cold, and calculated lies.